All right. This thing is all jacked. Check. Hello. Working? Good? In business? Yeah. Let's do it.
Powered by the Zaniacs, this is the Eric Zane Show podcast.
Thank you, Christy Wagner. ChristyWagnerVO.com. That's the lady. That's the lady in charge with that voice. Fantastic. Thanks for being here on the Eric Zane Show podcast Patreon bonus. The super fans, they earn money and give it to me. That is what a compliment. How lucky am I to have you? I'm not going to lie. That's been able to keep us alive, floating, because of you supercharging us. Thank you so much. That's been fantastic. I have nothing but positive things to say about you. Love you so much. Very, very complimentary when you can have something like that happen. I don't say it enough, frankly. I just spent a good portion of my time away from the free podcast eating. Consumed a massive amount of cashews. If you're like me, holy shit. You go, what you do is you go to Costco or Sam's Club, and they sell these big ass containers full of cashews for so much less than like a regular grocery store. And then, man, I murder those things. I got to be careful because I'll eat the whole damn thing. This is day 2 of trying to eat normal. And because I have, ever since I started the podcast, that's all I've thought about. I've talked to you about this. And my eating habits, it's just tough because you spend all this time doing this and then you get hungry and then you want something right now. So you go down and then you eat 4 Twinkies or something garbagey. Really bad. And I have the benefit of working out all the time, but I still I'm getting fatter. I know it. I mean, I have I have love handles. I have a beer gut. Man, Andrea says, well, then don't have them in the house, dummy. No, you're right. And I actually would do that. I would get rid of all the terrible food, but I can't. I mean, there's other people that live in the house who still, I don't want to be the overlord saying, you cannot eat this. I mean, Madison likes something like that in her lunch that she takes to school, like, the old cosmic brownie. Or the moon pie. Andrea's saying they shouldn't eat that crap. Well, what the fuck? You shouldn't smoke. Go fuck yourself. In your face. I win. Totally kidding. All right, I got Jackie's operation to get to, so let me get to this. I'm probably not going to spend as much time today as I did yesterday because I got to get to the hospital. Antonio Brown, we've covered all his nonsense, but it's very interesting when I see the continuing, growing body of work of assholism of this guy. People are starting to come out of the woodwork, and it always works out like this, and I don't know exactly why it is, but whenever someone is in the spotlight for more and more time, the dubious stories come out about these people. Now, does that mean that they happened? I don't know. Does that mean that they're fabricated? Maybe. People believe what they want to believe. I choose to believe all of these stories. The lady who said that he raped her spoke with the NFL on Monday. She has a civil case pending against him. She never filed criminal charges. a lot of people question that. Why? They always ask why. I cannot contribute to that discussion. I haven't been raped. I don't know the motive for anyone, for anything, and refuse to speculate about that. I think he very well did do that based on the email that she produced that he wrote. It's very, very graphic. Awful. Here's the latest. Sports Illustrated's Robert Klemko, this is from a Deadspin article, has published a long story about Antonio Brown and his various business and personal relationships. Now, we talk about the business relationships, too, here, because I had talked to you about some time ago the moment at the Pro Bowl in Florida when he invited some celebrity chef to his house, and then he got pissed off at the chef, kicked the chef out, did not pay the chef, who had paid a lot of people to be staff for the food service, stiffed the chef, didn't pay him, and didn't allow the chef to come back and get his equipment. That guy's suing Brown over that. So this has more on dealings like that through interviews and the examination of court documents and police reports. The author, Sports Illustrated's Robert Klemko, outlines a pattern of behavior that is defined by accusations of refusing to pay for services, bizarre encounters with police and other associates, and another allegation of sexual harassment. Second one. This is new. One piece of Klemko's report comes from an artist who says she met Brown at a charity event in Pittsburgh. At the event, Brown offered to pay $700 for a portrait of himself that the artist had made. So Brown's like, "Hey, you did a portrait of me. You painted that. I'll give you $700 for it." According to the artist and the co-founder of the charity that hosted the event, Brown took the painting but never paid for it, and then invited her to his home in Pittsburgh to paint a mural on one of his home's walls. No doubt it'd be a giant mural of him. The artist says Brown agreed to pay her $1,000 a day to work, but things went wrong just 2 days into the project. This from the article, from the Sports Illustrated article. After arriving at his home, the woman at first thought nothing of Brown's flirtations, an uncomfortable yet constant reality of her professional life. And she was thrilled by his willingness to share her work on social media. He even posted a live video showcasing her progress. It was very exciting to have this person interested in my work, the woman says. He acted like he trusted me, and he let me do my thing. On her second day, however, the atmosphere curdled. Oh, boy, you don't want the word curdled to be used to describe anything other than milk. The atmosphere curdled, started to stink, change, transform. The artist rot. The artist says at one point she was in a kneeling, a kneeling position while painting, and turned to find Brown behind her, nude. So the fucker, lickety split, takes off all of his clothes. Come on, man. Holding a small hand towel over his dick. He was flirty with me, but I paid him no mind because I was there on business. Plus, I'd already seen him with multiple girls in the short time I was with him, says the woman. I was about 40% done on the second day, and I'm on my knees painting the bottom, and he walks up to me butt-ass naked with a hand cloth covering his penis and starts having a conversation with me. She took it as a clear sexual come-on. Yeah, I'd say so. Unfortunately, I've been tried by men a lot of times, so I kept my cool and kept painting, she says. After that, it all ended abruptly. So I know how this is going to go. I haven't read one more word of this article, but I know for a fact how it's going to go. She didn't engage him. So she ends up getting fired. Watch. The artist told SI that Brown left for Miami the next day, and she never heard from him about finishing the mural. She says he eventually did pay her $2,000. Oh, well, that's more than I thought he would have done for her 2 days of work, but otherwise cut off contact with her. He was butthurt that she didn't sleep with him. But she did tell some friends about what happened, and they told her about the lawsuit filed about Brown. Klemko's story is full of other bizarre anecdotes and accusations about Brown. You can read the whole thing here. I think I will. Wow. So the New England Patriots rolled the dice on this guy and say, yeah, you're the guy. We think you're going to do great things. Let's see. SI conducted interviews with more than 24 people who have employed, worked for, coached, or played alongside Brown. Some who have taken legal action against him and others who have not, and reviewed police and court documents from jurisdictions ranging from Miami to Pittsburgh to Oakland. In a half-dozen lawsuits, he's accused of refusal to pay wages to former assistants and part-time employees. Court documents and interviews also suggest a pattern of disturbing, sometimes bizarre behavior, including a second woman's allegations of sexual misconduct by Brown. Neither Brown's agent, Drew Rosenhaus, nor his lawyer, Darren Heitner, responded to SI's emailed list of questions. In total, the stories of those who have encountered Brown paint a portrait of a superstar athlete living a rock star lifestyle, of a man who rose from poverty and anonymity in Miami to stardom and wealth on a national stage, only to make a habit of insulting, attacking, and betraying people he saw as being beneath his station. Hey, I do that. I'm kidding. I don't want anybody to take that as, like, true and then run with it and say, see, he said it. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. All right. In June 2017, Brown agreed to host a charity softball game in Pittsburgh to benefit the National Youth Foundation, which is a Pennsylvania-based all-volunteer group of women that promotes inclusion and gender equality, as well as developing academic skills in kids. During an auction of the artwork, this is when they talked about the portrait and how that whole thing went. The fact that he took off his clothes and said, yeah, here you go. The woman is not pursuing charges of remuneration, though she was bothered by the behavior. She said that friends with whom she had shared details of the incident told her about the other lawsuit. As for NYF, not sure what that is, social media messages and emails sent to Brown and his agent, Drew Rosenhaus, by both the artist and Hansen, requesting the $700 payment for the original auction painting, well, that was the organization we talked about, have gone unanswered. We didn't want to sue because our mission is all about seeing the good in people and lifting people up. Part of me has to believe that at some point one of these grown men are going to realize they shouldn't be stealing from a charity run by black women benefiting children. I have to believe that. Talks about Brown and the gymnast. We talked about that. Brown has had acrimonious relationships with several women in his life. Police were dispatched to his Pittsburgh area home on domestic disturbance calls 3 times in the last 4 years. Each incident involved his longtime girlfriend, Chelsea Kyrus, the mother of 3 of his 5 kids. None resulted in an arrest. I cannot imagine the life. You know, the whole thing about, yeah, that's my baby mama. God, that is such a strange world to me. I can't believe that to the rich and famous, that's the thing. Just go and have kids and with random women that you have relationships with. And just how does anybody expect this to work out for the kids? Does anybody ever think about the fucking kids in these relationships? You know how much of a great thing it is to be in a relationship with 2 parents co-parenting? You know, and that could be whether that's a husband and a wife, or 2 women or 2 men taking care of a child in unison, watching over a young person and nurturing them. You know how important that is? That really bothers me when I hear about that. I was fortunate because though my parents were split, my dad was very involved in the relationship. These shitheads like Antonio Brown, they only think about themselves. Really bothers me. 3 of his 5 kids. None resulted in an arrest, according to the police report. Kyrus accused Brown of throwing a bottle of cologne at her during an argument, then leaving for a preseason game. That could hurt. Officers observed no injuries to Kyrus, who, according to the report, was hesitant to pursue charges for fear of it affecting Brown's career. Oh, that's sad. In May of 2018, the most recent incident, Brown called police to his home, claiming Kyrus took his credit card in a Range Rover. Kyrus was in the vehicle with the credit card when police arrived. Weird. Kyrus told cops that Brown intended to fly. This is a lot of weirdness. I guess I'll just post the article and you can check it out. But what a fucking nut job. And the New England Patriots, sight unseen, because he can do everything with a football, says, "Yep, come on board. We want you." All right, let me ask you this. If you had the opportunity to go to space in a space hotel, would you? Okay? No gravity, very little gravity. You're way out. You're orbiting the Earth. Would you go to a space hotel? I would in a heartbeat. Yes, I wouldn't let a car drive me around, a self-driving car, but I would fly to space to dock at a space station. That is a space hotel. It's happening. It's a done deal. The first commercial space hotel will be open for business in 2025. That is not that far away. As it starts, it will be for the very wealthy to fly like the astronauts do and dock at this space station. But the price is going to drop. This would be so incredible to me. I'm seeing some artist renderings of it. It reminds me of the film Interstellar. Some of those habitats that they have out in space, it reminds me of that. Man, this is big. One company is catering to people's fascination with space by planning to build an enormous hotel for tourists who want to experience life beyond Earth's atmosphere. So you're traveling around the hotel, floating. How great is this? The Gateway Foundation plans to build a rotating space station that will produce varying rates of artificial gravity, according to its website. Utilizing existing technology from the International Space Station. I can't believe they haven't done this. Like now we're finally getting to this. The accommodations are geared toward guests who want to experience life in space, but in the luxury and comfort of a hotel. Yes, please. I'll do that. Activities on board. Man, I really want to do this first one. Low gravity basketball. How great would that be? Playing basketball in low gravity, just floating to the rim and dunking. Can you imagine, though, as we think about the basketball game, the sex involved? That's going to be the first thing you're going to do. They're going to say, now, do you want to experience low gravity basketball first or go to the low gravity bar? I'd say, nope. I need to get to my hotel room for some low gravity boning. How intense would that be? Just to be floating around and just, that would be incredible. And then, God forbid, if you pull out and then, you get some leakage flying out of her flap, and then it's just like floating around on the interior of the room. You'd have to catch it. I know some of the audience members would be floating around mouth first. You know who you are. Some may be enjoying the video podcast of the Patreon bonus. And then the significant other would shove this person towards the jizz to actually catch it. You know it's true. You're thinking it too. I know it. Low gravity sex. God, that'd be incredible. There's also low gravity trampolining and low gravity rock climbing. Man, I'm all about this. Tim Alator, senior design architect of the Van Braun Space Station, told Architecture and Design magazine that this is a thing. I would hate to be the cleaning crews going through there though, and just like if the couple didn't get all of the floating batch, if you're the cleaning crews walking in there or floating in there, and then just one just goes right up against the side of your face. It's like they'd have to pay hazard pay. Say, yeah, I get hazard pay. Why? Well, Kenny from Nashville's batch went right in my nose. In the Schaefer room, it wasn't all consumed by the female. Alator likened the travel experience to a cruise or going to Disney World, as it will also feature restaurants, bars, concerts, movie screenings, and educational seminars. I can just picture them at some point. They have to jettison the space rubbers. So you see all these full rubbers get jettisoned out into space from all the sex that's going to be had. The Van Braun Space Station will feature privately owned modules used for villas, hotels, or commercial activity, as well as government-owned modules used for research, according to this proposal. The company plans to be fully operational by 2025 with 100 tourists visiting weekly, according to the magazine Dazine. That's magazine, new word, Dazine. While the wealthy will only be able to afford space travel at first, the eventual goal is to make the experience open to everyone. Man, I sure hope there isn't an incident. Somehow somebody's lost in space, or some moron pulls the wrong switch and ends up, decompressed. The whole thing is there's no pressure in it. Everybody dies and floats out into space. Oh, God. The Gateway Foundation isn't the only company aiming to widen the opportunity for space travel. In June, NASA announced that it hopes to open up the International Space Station to to allow private astronauts to arrive by 2020. Damn it. Man, I want in this. This is great. Yep. First thing. How many times do you think in the International Space Station there's been huge orgies? There had to have been at least one international space orgy. That place is huge. The space station, very elaborate. Tons of room for hardcore space sex. That's what this is going to be about. And why not? Let's say forget the basketball, forget the trampolining. Sell it as a hardcore space orgy. And people will pay top dollar for that. So people from all different walks of life show up there and who are open to that type of lifestyle and have at it. Kenny says, damn, Eric, you are obsessed with orgies. I think I am. Now, I don't want to be in one unless it was only like chicks. That's the only space orgy that I don't want to be around any other men. No men on my space orgy. Stay away. I don't want to see a wang. All right, I got to go take care of Jacqueline. She's getting operated on at 10:30. It's 9:45. This is done. Thanks for being part of it. Be back tomorrow. Bye-bye. Not in a limo. I was kidding.